Be game one of the top 8.
Definitely this dice roll is going to be more important than maybe others have been in the past because Labyrinth plays very differently when it goes first or going second. Has options in both modes, but I definitely know Kai Huang would prefer first.
So we are going high roll. Now the official high roll. 8, not too bad. Kai rolls.
That is 10.
Oh, wow.
That is more than enough to give Kai the right to pick which goes first or second. Alrighty, two duelists having a great fist bump here. They're going to draw their opening hand of 5 cards, and we're going to get this game underway.
All right. So it's great when Labyrinth gets go first. You do miss out on 1 extra card, but as we saw, Kai has emptied his hand on turn 0.
Yeah.
So maybe that's not a big a deal as we discard Stovatory and Absolute King Backjack.
Those are 2 cards made in heaven right there. We're going to go ahead and get that search for a trap card. We're going to get Welcome Labyrinth, and then on Resolution, we'll be able to activate a new chain of Backjack as we send to the graveyard to rearrange the top 3 cards of our deck.
Well, Kai's been a gentleman before. Maybe he'll show us what those 3 cards are. Let's see.
Let's see. I see an Ariana. Oh, wow, you're psychic. He knows how to do a good show. Dimensional Barrier and Arius.
Thanks, Kai.
So because he sent the Backjack, he would be able to, if he puts a trap card on top, be able to activate it from the top of his deck, essentially, during Pascal's turn. And I don't see any more monsters in Kai Huang's hand, so he's just going to pass his turn and say, go ahead.
What a gentleman, just extending that hand.
He may have only have set 4, but thanks to that Backjack, it's essentially a set 5 and pass. If he put the D-Barrier on top, I'm not sure.
Oh, I think it could be D-Barrier.
It is.
Oh, wow.
And that card can't be activated this turn thanks to Backjack.
Certainly will help. Memento is known for fusions.
So there's the special of Tatsuno Toshigo. On summon, I don't think Kai has anything. This would be a good time for our Daruma Carbon Cannon. Nice, there it is. He's going to go ahead and set that Tatsuno Toshigo face down so it won't be able to destroy itself and get that dump of 5 levels for Memento cards.
Every deck has some kind of weakness to it, right? Just something it can't get done in all circumstances. They always talk about how card effects have to resolve, but in Memento they have to activate. They're a little bit vulnerable because it's a mostly ignition effect-based deck.
But like you said, being set face down isn't that big of a deal because you can still fusion summon with them.
Not with that Dimensional Barrier at the ready. But, ooh, Goblin Breaker Grand Breakout. Let's go ahead and get something, unless we're gonna Dominus Impulse. No, we're not Dominus Impulsing, so it's Goblin time.
Yep, there we go. The Memento Goblin's going to be hitting the board, and we also get a nice send from the deck using this card's effect.
From deck? That's good.
Yep, we're going to go ahead and send 2 cards here by destroying the Goblin.
So 2 Memento names down, 3 to go.
This would be a prime time for maybe Gaddock and Anguish, maybe? Question mark? I don't know. We'll see what he goes for. There's the Gaddock. Always nice to send that and get the free body.
Really has helped this deck really push over the edge. Gaddock just a great card for sure, but the second card is going to be important. Also could be Sleepy, but that Dimensional Barrier is terrifying.
But I guess if you force the barrier out, you still have access to your Link plays if you play any of those, and maybe even your XZs, because we know that Pascal plays Big Gabanga.
Oh, that's right, because we did get to see it earlier.
But how useful is Big Gabanga going to be in this matchup? I don't think it even really interacts with Kai Huang's board at all. Ooh, we're actually going to get the Memento Field spell sent to the graveyard here using Goblin's effect. I believe you totally can't do that. It just says cards for Goblin.
That is right. And the reason why, of course, is because Memento Mictlan is usually able to set various cards, but that's an interesting way to go ahead and get it set, and using it to add it back. Nice.
Pascal still has not used his normal summon for turn yet. Everything has been a special summon so far, but we haven't seen any sign of Anguish or Darkblade in his hand. But there is the Sleepy.
Can I read this card? Sure.
Kai Huang just getting a clarification on how it fusion summons. I believe once it's summoned to the field, it'll be a quick effect to be able to do that.
So Memento Monster was destroyed, so that's how you're getting the special summon.
Yes.
In the hand, chain D-Barrier, call fusion.
Okay, so there we have the chain of the effective Sleepy to summon itself
Resolution
with
fine?
D-Barrier to call fusion monsters, meaning all fusions have their effects negated and they cannot be summoned.
I gotta read this. Sorry.
Special summon a Memento monster for my deck.
So we are going to go ahead and destroy a Memento Monster on Resolution, and then special summon or add to the hand. That's important for some of the bigger Memento Monsters.
This is very true.
There's no cost?
No, it's not.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, on Resolution it destroys. It's like part of the effect, essentially.
Absolutely correct.
It's kind of like, what's that new Skystriker card? Linkage. I say new, but the newest one.
I'm gonna trigger Anguish to add a Memento.
Card or
Monster.
monster? That's good.
So Anguish will be able to search here after being specialed off of Bone Party. maybe Mace or Darkblade probably would be a really good thing for him, so we can just get more of his names in the yard while cycling through.
Fusions may be gone, but combining 5 names is not a fusion summon when it comes to combined creation.
That's true. You can essentially have a pseudo fusion summon by using the summoning mechanic of combined creation. And there we have 2 level 3 monsters. Going to be XZ summoning here into Big Gabanga. On summon, this will let him search for another Goblin card. We could see the Doug Charger coming out and just get the extra body for some maybe link climbing or just get more resources essentially for Pascal.
Still haven't seen any of the Speedroids that we saw earlier when he was scrolling through his deck. Obviously a little too late for opening up with no monsters to get that Speedroid Terratop, but you're right, there's the Doug Charger from the deck to the hand.
And that will be able to summon itself by removing one of the materials from his own Big Gabanga and then give him extra cards on board. It is worth noting that it is Pascal's going second, so he might be looking to deal some damage this turn if he can. Oh, speaking of which, we're in the battle phase. We're going to attack with Big Gabanga. On attack declaration, it looks like Kai has a response of Welcome Labyrinth to summon.
Okay.
That is good. No Ash Blossom from Pascal's side, so Kai's just going to go ahead and search his deck for one of the big ladies. Going to get Lady Labyrinth at the Silver Castle herself. And then on a new chain, I think he'll be able to...
Has 0 triggers.
I love that Kai is singing out his plays, by the way, whenever he gets one of the boss monsters from the Labyrinth strategy. Just the energy in him comes alive.
We're going to swing with the Big Gabanga. I believe it has a battle effect that would it out the lady? Does it only sucks up monsters if it uses its effect to detach, correct?
And typically attaching monsters doesn't target, but let's see what happens next.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, the attack is good. I believe that means Pascal would take some damage because the Big Gabanga only has 2,100 attack points.
Not the worst idea trying to crash into it.
Oh, here we see the second effect of Goblin Grand Breakout in the graveyard, banishing itself. And now we're going to detach, and we're going to use Big Gabanga's effect, like I thought, to attach the Lady of the Silver Castle. But I'm not sure if Pascal took damage.
Well, I guess we'll get the life pods updated in just a moment here, but interesting to see that actually protected there for sure. Yep, and
it destroys. Okay, that's or it sends to the graveyard. One of the
It would have to send to the graveyard because there are face-down cards on the field, and Lady Silver does not usually get destroyed in that situation.
Ooh, and because we attack with an XZ monster, we go into Zeus in main phase 2. We're going to activate Zeus's effect to send all of the cards on the field to the graveyard. We're going to chain Big Welcome to that, and we're going to chain Trap Trick to our very own Big Welcome.
Oh, and huge to set the transaction rollback to basically get free traps, right? Because since that's getting sent to the graveyard, it's always the hardest part of transaction rollback is how are you going to get it to the graveyard. Easier in Labyrinth because you can discard it. But using Trap Trick, that's huge because the Zeus actually is helping here.
Yeah, we've been seeing Memento all weekend long dominate with fusion monsters, so of course Kai was like, Dimension Barrier Call Fusion, but who knows, these XZs could also force him into some pretty sticky situations.
Well, it's been kind of something we've picked up since last year. The Dimensional Barrier is a great card, but typically the Fiendsmith engine gives you something that is Dimensional Barrier immune. What a great way to play around Dimensional Barrier. Just start XZ summoning. I'm not going to fuse.
Another heads-up play here from Kai. He went ahead and used his Bill Welcome to summon back the lady that's in his graveyard, and then in the same chain, as part of the same effect, add it back to his hand to dodge the Zeus, sending it to the graveyard. And now, like you said, we have rollback plus a Big Welcome in the yard.
And that is a big old graveyard full of traps. Incredible. And since transaction rollback is there, it could be used to banish itself, pay those life points, and chain to a fusion summon effect and grab the effect of Dimensional Barrier to stop it.
And Kai may only have 1 card in hand, but we've seen him be more than comfortable at 0 cards in hand, so this game is far from over.
Speaking of cards in hand, it's time to drop down the Memetotlin Tekutlika combined creation.
We have exactly 5 different names in the graveyard, so it's going to be able to meet its summoning condition and be summoned from the hand. And that man is an absolute house. But not having any mementos in the graveyard does make him a little bit weaker during Kai's turn.
Just a little bit. You won't be able to summon an Anguish and then be able to grab something like Memetotlin Goblin or Mace from the deck.
Here we see a bit of a pause here. I think the judges are just clarifying something or just asking a question. Are they asking about how the previous chain was resolved?
Oh, how interesting. I overheard our assistant head judge. So Goblin Biker Grand Breakout only works on attack declaration. But a replay, when a monster is summoned in the middle of an attack and you redeclare the attack, it's not an attack declaration. So we're going to have to rewind the game state.
Right, because the Grand Breakout, which I believe was used to send the lead.
Oh, but we might be doing an accepted game state here.
We'll see. They might update us as the game goes on, but right now they're just trying to figure out how that exact interaction went.
It is important that both players know what's going on, right? If you read your tournament policy guidelines, both players have an obligation to maintain a correct game state. So both players had an equal opportunity to say, hey, this card doesn't do what it's trying to do or what you say it does. So that's important, especially at this stage of game. You know, it's fun. You can get comfortable here on the stage, but we might have gotten just a little too comfortable. So we are going to, I believe, have an accepted game state because it doesn't look like we're winding it back.
Yep, it looks like here we're going to be resolving the effect of Memento Mictlan here. Kai Wong just clarifying what that card does for himself as well.
Probably means a procedural error minor for both of these players, but it doesn't seem like it's getting upgraded, obviously, since I don't think that's something that happens every day, for sure.
Right. We'll update you guys if anything changes, of course, with that, but let's go ahead and watch this game here and see what happens next. I think Kai is just debating if he wants to interact with this at all. I think the only option he has is to activate Lady's Effect to summon herself because a trap has been activated this turn. Should go ahead and get summoned out there.
And then banishing the transaction rollback to use the effect of a normal trap card, and that's going to be Trap Trick setting the cannon.
I pay more than 4,000 because I pay less than 4,000 because I took damage already. Okay. I mean, it's okay. We don't have to keep life. If I'm losing, I don't know.
So we did get a update from the judges, just like what we said. Grand Breakout's Graveyard Effect cannot be used here, so it's only on attack declaration. Both players did receive a procedural error minor, but it's just a warning, even at this stage of gameplay.
Yeah, just as you said, Steven, it was just like an interesting situation that you don't see every day. Replays are not considered attack declarations.
Thank you for the update, judges. Got a little ahead of myself, a little experience there, but seems like everything is fine as we continue through the end phase to use the Karma Cannon to flip some monsters face down.
Chain to the effect, or is it a new chain?
It's a new chain.
New chain? So I'll chain to set trap. Hey, you almost got me with that one.
Okay.
Yeah, so then I'm going to set.
Yeah, so there we see Kai. They're just clarifying that he can actually chain to his own trap card using Lady because Memento Creation would trigger on a different chain, so it does not chain block the Lady's effect set.
It does it anytime?
Yeah.
I did not know that, guys. I did not know that. I'm a bozo.
Kai being a little hard on himself there, calling himself a poser. You are not a poser, Kai. But it is true that you can really use Memento Mictlan whenever you need to set that, and so he is going to go ahead and set down an extra bone party for later. And it's important because it could destroy a Memento monster in the hand if there is one in Pascal's hand.
Very true. Right now he cannot get rid of his Migration because that card does not know that it is a Memento monster because it is set face down.
Oh, yeah.
No, trap trick set rollback, and then I didn't use a trap after that. Yeah. Daruma is the only trap activated after trap trick.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're just clarifying that he was still able to activate Daruma because the trap trick just sent the rollback because it was destroyed by the Zeus. But the only trap card he activated from the field has been the Daruma Karma Cannon. But I think because the phrasing of trap trick does not say that trap card, it says one more trap after this card's been activated. It doesn't matter which trap card it is, but after that, no more.
That is correct there. And so this is an interesting matchup because neither deck necessarily puts out complicated mechanics or gameplay, but overwhelmingly putting out so much stuff that it is a very draining duel on both players. There's lots of little micro interactions. So certainly after a long couple of days, that stuff's going to happen, but looks like play will continue from here.
We saw Kai's top deck being Ariana, the Labyrinth Servant, but in response to that summon's effect, we have Pascal activating Momental Infusion. That is a way to get this Combined Creation back in the graveyard and use up that Memento name and access Bone Party. But does Pascal have another Memento in hand? He must, right? Do we know any cards in his hand at this point? I don't think so.
But it could be a Guardian Chimera, too. Look, 2 monsters on the field, 1 in the hand.
And they have different names. You're totally right. Imagine a Zeus and a 5,000 attack by monster being used to make a weaker monster.
Only in Yu-Gi-Oh! Would you combine 2 monsters to make a smaller monster, right? But it is going to be very clutch if he happens to do that. He wouldn't be able to destroy the Lady of the Silver Castle, but... Oh, we're going to bounce.
Yes, right. Big Welcome Labyrinth can chain anything, and that means Memento Infusion resolves without effect.
I think it was definitely the Guardian Chimera there. What a heads-up play.
You could totally see Kai going, okay, what's he summoning? What's he summoning? What's he summoning? It's got to be Chimera. I'm going to get rid of that Zeus. Put it back in your extra deck.
You know this?
Okay.
It was set last turn.
Okay.
Yeah.
And but one thing that Kai is denying himself is the ability to activate that set Big Welcome that he has on board. But he's Ariana. He's getting he's getting Labyrinth. I was going to say welcome. That'll make his Welcome Labyrinth way more powerful.
Certainly a welcome feeling as the field spell hits the field.
Resolve nothing?
No.
Yeah, resolution of adding Labyrinth, anything.
set, summon.
Yep, we're going to activate the effect of Labyrinth Stormy Torby to summon itself, and we're going to set Welcome Labyrinth from the graveyard.
Oh, that's gonna hurt, guys. All right.
Ooh.
Oh, unfortunately, though, he did commit to activating the Welcome Labyrinth, the Labyrinth, and I do think that means he misses the opportunity to bring back the Stormy and the Welcome Labyrinth.
He does because he missed the triggers, and it is really important. Verbal commitment like that, it takes over your actual hand commitment. So, tournament policy guidelines, definitely something you have to adhere to, especially at this stage of play.
We still have the big Welcome to bounce and summon from the deck, which is really valuable for Kai here, because you can summon Lovely, then bounce something else.
Summon, then bounce.
Stand by.
And
we're going to chain that to set. There could have been a world here where Pascal chained his own Bone Party to stop the Lady Labyrinth from summoning, because this will give Kai the Welcome Labyrinth he wanted last turn.
Okay.
So Kai found a way to get back. Probably needs to slow down, right? There's a lot of Labyrinth and cosplayer fans certainly cheering him on, but at the same time, Pascal just kind of holding it together, making sure to make concise, decisive plays, and by doing slow and steady, that may win him the match here, so we shall see how this
We
proceeds.
see Kai eyeing that trap trick there, but he's going to choose to get the Dominus Impulse set here to maybe turn off any shenanigans like that known Bone Party from being able to summon, and we're going to add back the Lady of the Silver Castle here with our effect.
Okay.
Yeah, just clarifying which effect adds the card back to the hand. It's all one effect for Big Welcome Labyrinth because he controls a level 8 Fiend monster.
I'll pop Bone Party.
So using the full effect of the field spell and getting rid of the Bone Party before there's even an opportunity to use it. And obviously there's no face-up Memento monster or anything left in the hand that would be Memento.
Yep, and then here we have the new chain here of Ariana, and then chaining the Stovey Torby, and of course the Welcome Labyrinth to reset itself.
So all's well that ends well for Kai. Managed to still get that same play back, but he's going to have to be very careful again. Remember, there can be upgrades. We've seen that before during the tournament. We would hate to see this duel decided that way.
Yeah, you can definitely get a little too exciting when you see like an open game state. You're like, I can just play, right? And then you miss a step every here and there. So here we're going to chain something as Pascal here. We're going to chain Forbidden Drop.
Ooh.
We're going to be sending our Combined Creation and the Memento Field Spell to target both of the monsters and negate their effects, and you can't respond with monsters or spell cards.
Yes. Cross.
This and this?
Yeah.
Let's see. I wonder what Kai's thinking. No response there, so both those monsters will be halved and their effects will be negated, but we'll get the Welcome Labyrinth set and the Stovey Torby summon.
Now, I'm certainly not trying to clamp down on the duel. There's certainly a lot of nerves when you have made it to the top 8 of a YCS.
Ooh, and normal summon Anguish for Pascal is huge because that turns on all of the Memento cards that he put back in his deck last turn. There we see the Tatsu no Toshigo, and this time I don't think Kai has any way to stop this. All he has is Impulse. We're going to use the effect here and send 5 levels worth of Memento monsters to the graveyard. This will be all Pascal needs. If something like Creation King hits the board here, I feel like Pascal could just have the game this turn.
We knew this was going to be a wild and crazy duel. I don't think we could expect this.
This is still game 1.
You got it?
Yeah.
Yep, so we're sending Mace, Goblin, and we're going to use Garrick to summon itself back. And then we're going to use Garrick on summon it back to add back a Memento card to the hand. This could get back the field spell like we saw turn 1. There's currently no Sleepy. You could also get the fusion spell here that we haven't used yet. That could be pretty huge. We do see him going for the fusion. We're going to use Anguish's effect, targeting Gaddock.
That's all she wrote, though. Kai has decided to concede this game. Maybe needs a little bit of a breather and to get back in.
I'm sure he's kicking himself with that bit of a misplay there with the
Getting
welcome.
into game 2 to find out if Pascal will win this one and advance to the next, or Kai will bring it back for a game 3.
Alrighty, both players seem ready to go. My assumption is that Kai has chosen to go first. They're going to draw their opening hands. Let's have a good duel, boys.
Is that my main phase?
Start of main phase 1, Pot of Extrav. Kai loves doing this. A really cool thing about this card is that it can actually bait any of your opponent's Ash Blossoms that they might have in your hand. That can open up your Labyrinth cards to being safer. That's pretty cool.
Especially considering that drawing 2 cards, you want to Ash Blossom that, but may be the least of your problems here. But let's see what 2 cards we draw. I definitely saw a Transaction Rollback.
Ooh, and I see a big welcome and a trap trick. I think Kai has everything he wants to be a happy camper as a Labyrinth player. Starting off with Torby sending Draglier. Sorry, Chandraglier.
That's fine.
That'll go ahead and let him set another trap card. My guess is he wants Welcome Labyrinth. Yep, that'll be the best one to kind of get him into the rest of his engine. And then I think I saw 4 Pupper cards, so it's going to be set 5 total and pass.
I think you're right. Set, 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 set.
all we got to do. All right, it's over to Pascal. Let's see how he can combat this.
It was many YCSs ago when an Eldritch Duelist set 5 and the crowd cheered. This is wild to see set 5 in 2025.
Here we have the Welcome Labyrinth. Probably get Lady here. Usually the first one you want to start with because that gets you into even more trap cards during this turn. Yep, there she is, Lady of the Silver Castle.
Anything on us?
No.
Lady Labyrinth certainly putting in work. I think she's been the MVP of this particular set of duels.
Oh, 100%. Usually the most consistent Lady Labyrinth monster, whereas Lovely's more of a payoff for all your already set up cards.
Well, the Queen sits on her throne, but she hasn't arrived yet. We're taking a deep look into MEMENTO Darkblade here to consider whether or not we want to stop it. Would be kind of scary. Are we activating the effect here? Oh, yep. Does it go in the field spell zone?
Yeah, it was originally in the farthest right zone. Or left if you're Pascal.
All right, we're just going to go ahead and destroy the MEMENTO Darkblade to special summon level 3, and there's the Anguish in attack mode.
We're doing everything we need to. We have that extra name in the yard thanks to the Darkblade.
All right, back into the deck, no response. So searching out a Memento monster from the deck to the hands.
This could be a Sleepy line. This could be a Goblin line. This could be... Probably that's it, because you want to be able to maybe protect your... No, probably just normal summon Goblin could be pretty cool here. But we are going to get the Tatsuno Toshigo.
Kind of have to push the envelope there. When you're staring down 4 face-down cards, eventually you have to get rid of some of those before you bring out your biggest bosses.
If Kai does not already have a Karma Cannon, he might force it out here from Pascal. There we see the big welcome. This will let him put back the Tatsuno Toshigo in Pascal's hand because he does control a level 8 Fiend. And then he's going to chain the Lady's effect to set another trap card.
And we've already normal summoned. I've seen some desperation play where a Tatsuno Toshigo was tribute summoned, but not this turn. Oh, but there's the cannon.
It currently cannot be played this turn, I believe, because Lady does not let you do that.
Unless we get to a coup clock, but there is no clock in sight. Speaking of the clock, we got 33 minutes, so plenty of dueling time left.
Ooh, we're getting Ariana, and Ariana can get the coup clock, right?
That's true.
Because Labyrinth does not negate their effects.
Chain 2 to add back, summon, set to the field.
So let's see, Chain Link 4 is going to be Welcome Labyrinth to set itself. Chain Link 3 is going to be Stoby-Torby to summon, Dragleer to add back to hand, and then Ariana to search. Chain 5 for Pascal is going to be Forbidden Droplet on the Ariana. Would be pretty huge here. We're going to go ahead and send that Otaka Tomborg from his hand to the graveyard. The patented Speedroid engine requirement.
Not getting locked in a win for now, but
We have another
cannon!
Daruma Karma Cannon! It was the biggest bait of Kai's life. Yo, just proving that it is in fact a different
Wow.
one. Don't worry. Pascal's like, but you said that this turn. I was like, I did set this one this turn, but not this one.
Keeping great track here.
Now, does that mean that Droplet no longer applies to Ariana because it's been set face down? Is it like Imperm like that, or does it not target?
So you negate face-up cards during the resolution of Forbidden Droplet, and since it's no longer face-up, you can't negate that face-up card.
So he will get the search of the coup clock, and so now if he wants to, he can activate the other Daruma Karma Cannon. Really heads-up play from Kai, getting a card that he already had set face down.
Tick-tock, tick-tock.
Amazing play right there. It is worth noting that Pascal has used his normal, but he has Momental Infusion, and we have the hard draw barrier calling Fusion. Pascal at a loss for words, at a loss for actions, but he's going to keep playing, and he's going to banish that Fusion from his graveyard to activate its second effect. God, just making sure he has a clarification of how this one works.
Yeah,
That's good.
Yes.
Just on the edge of my seat here because every one of these plays is absolutely incredible. Every one of these plays is pushing the envelope of this, and Kai just had some great luck with that opening hand, drawing exactly the normal trap cards he needed.
Tatsuno Toshigo hits the graveyard, and now Pascal is switching his deck for another Memento monster. Oh, are they clarifying if Fusion can send face-down monsters?
It's summoned after. It was Daruma resolved before this came out.
Oh, they're asking if the Stoby-Torby should be face down. I believe it was Chain Link 3 and Daruma Karma Cannon was Chain Link 6.
I don't know. You guys are keeping track of the buy.
Yeah, red.
So, yeah.
What did you search? Sorry.
Party.
Yep, so we got Bone Party thanks to Fusion.
It summons from deck.
Also can add to hand, although it doesn't seem like that effect is being used much.
It can still be Ash Blossom, by the way, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think Kai has that. So we're going to send the Goblin from hand to the graveyard, or destroy it, I should say.
Destroy. Alan, now that it's destroyed... It's funny, too. I mean, you can see Goblin having a party right there on the art.
What other Memento extenders could he do? He currently does not have the names for Combined Creation. He could get Mace and maybe use that during Kai's turn to maybe stymie him from going for game.
But Mace only works when you have Combined Creation on the field.
Oh, you're totally right. I'm not sure what Pascal has access to anymore. He's gone through almost everything. Not being able to get into Creation King has been super tough for him both of these games here.
Well, it's the one inherent advantage, right? We've joked about how the Pot of Extravagance means you don't care about your extra deck, but Kai doesn't care about your extra deck either, but he does grab the Mace and special summon to the field. Of course, it could destroy itself to grab another Memento card from the deck to the hand. I wonder what sort of miracle panacea he's looking for.
We could get Sleepy, but without being able to fusion summon, what's Sleepy doing for you?
Card you control should
Think here. On summon, nope.
He's like, I'm good. He's going to activate the effect on resolution of the summon of Kuklok to be able to activate a set trap card that he played this turn. And there we see Pascal scooping it up. The second Karma Cannon is too much.
So one thing, not only do the effects have to resolve, but they have top 8 to top 4.
We've got Kai Huang on the right. We have Pascal on the left. Memento versus Labyrinth. This is going to be one heck of a show. Everyone lock in.
See a good, clean match.
standby phase.
It's time to duel. Pascal, of course, starting off, and he's leading with Memento and Goblin. That's a pretty good start here. Going to get 2 cents from the deck. Kai Huang just making sure he's like, I want to understand fully what's about to happen to me right now. Yeah, that's fine. He's going to destroy itself.
Yes.
And then send 2 more cards to the graveyard. We're going to send Gaddock, and we're going to send Fusion. Really nice, getting extra access to more Memento cards.
Wow!
Chain Link 1, Gaddock, Chain Link 2, Meow was going to get that draw because a card was summoned from the graveyard, which is something that Memento loves to do.
The forgotten Mulcharmy of the format. We've seen lots of Purulia, we have seen lots of Fualos, but Meows has taken the stage.
As a Malice player, that is a very scary card.
Well, I mean, you know, Kai said earlier in his interview that he thought the best deck was Mallow, so he came equipped for it, and that will help him in this Memento matchup.
So there we see Fusion sending Gaddock to the graveyard and returning the Goblin to the deck to be able to summon Memento Twin Dragon.
Oh, wait. Is this in grave?
Yeah, shuffle it back.
It shuffles back from grave?
Yes.
Yeah, just double checking how Memento Infusion works. You can either send cards from your hand and field to the graveyard, or you can return cards from your graveyard back into the deck.
Because it would also destroy Goblin.
Oh, it's like the second sentence. Yeah.
Yeah, just making sure we fully understand why he was able to do that, because earlier he didn't do that. It's just an option you have when cards are destroyed.
What does that do? Sorry.
Destroys add 2. Anything.
So on summon, it does
It
what?
destroys itself to add 2 Memento monsters.
That's good.
Going to go ahead and destroy itself and add 2 Memento monsters from his deck to his hand. Going to probably get some extra extenders here. We've already used our normal summons, so things like Darkblade and Anguish are a bit weaker now. But Sleepy is definitely online.
It's going to be difficult to decide what to do next here for Pascal. You don't want to give too many draws to Kai, because every single time it could just mean the right Labyrinth card hits the hand, and discarding it could mean doom.
Yep, and here we see Kai just double-checking what the graveyard effect of Fusion is, being able to search for more Memento cards, essentially. Get him even more consistency. That card's really strong for this archetype.
Absolutely has pushed it over the edge here to really make the deck a lot more competitive. Was always good. Played it right when it came out of Valiant Smashers, but obviously it is a new beast from what it once initially was.
Oh yeah, for me the biggest unlock has been Creation King, no question. Okay, so here we have Pascal, probably thinking if he wants to order this any differently or just go straight for that Tatsu no Toshigo and get some more Memento cards in his yard.
Now, Pascal's careful here. There may not be that many more summons from the graveyard and or banishments.
Here we see Bone Party going to be destroying a card from the hand, it looks like. But it's on resolution. So Kai's just thinking if he wants to respond here. Usually the Labyrinth cards want to have stuff already established in play before we interact with them, so it's probably fine just to let this go through first and then respond to whatever Pascal either summons or adds back. Just asking a clarification here from the judges, I guess, about what is available to them to be able to be played.
I mean, it is a complicated deck indeed, not only for the duelists, but for the judges as well, having to keep track of a very complex series of gameplay interactions. Again, the overall deck, not too crazy, but you're just constantly seeing cards interact.
Both duelists getting a nice reprieve here. They have plenty of time to finish out this game 3, but I bet you the nerves are piling up. This will decide whether or not one of them goes home.
So Judge likely instructing them. We've got player audio just briefly muted here as there's an announcement, so we can't hear it as well over here at the desk, but I guess we'll find out shortly what is happening with an update.
My assumption would be like how Memento Infusion was able to resolve, and maybe just asking a clarifying question.
Yeah.
It's already past that point. You received a P minor for legal activation of Welcome Labyrinth. Have you received a P minor for legal activation?
Oh, the Welcome Labyrinth was an illegal activation.
No.
In the game 2? To be
In
able to
game
set
2,
itself?
I believe so.
Didn't we just get a P minor?
It's for a different thing.
Oh, okay. Dude, I'm sorry.
No, you're good, man.
Yeah, just clarifying. I think so. Are they saying the effect to be able to set it last game?
Yes, I believe so, but that was previous. We're just keeping track of things because your penalties, if they accrue, stuff could happen.
Mm-hmm.
You're rather very quiet. And when you activate a memento effect, you explain all parts of the effect, not just.
And here we're just clarifying as well what every player is going to do from this moment forward for this game. Just a little bit of a warning to Pascal there about being maybe a little too quiet.
Needs to explain the full part of the effect too. So Bone Party is not just special summoning, it's also adding to the hand, or could add to the hand, so can't give half answers there.
Good job on our judge team over there, making sure that both these players have a clean, honest game of Yu-Gi-Oh!
I mean, it's difficult. You got to remember, both of these duelists have been doing this for days, and because it's an East Coast, West Coast battle, neither of them are from here, so they're even in different time zones as well.
So here it's looking like Pascal's going to be resolving this Bone Party here, destroying a card from his hand, just probably figuring out which card it should be. And then Kai Wong giving us a bit of a heads up. I did see the Arias in there, which means he does have a potential interaction here during Pascal's turn, but like I said, I think he's going to wait until Pascal commits more cards. And there we see the destruction of the combined creation that was in Pascal's hand once again to resolve this Bone Party and maybe get Anguish. Yep, there she is.
So with the Arias the Labyrinth Butler in the hand, Kai isn't completely locked out of the game, but maybe telegraphing that there's not much he can do except just that single move of setting a trap card and then jumping in.
All right, both these players here are locked in. Pascal's recognizing, okay, I'm still under Meowls. Summoning from the graveyard is out of the question. Unfortunately, he will be doing that if he wants to get that combined creation back out onto the board. So worth noting that he will give up another card to Kai. And weirdly, Labyrinth is one of those decks, Kai mentioned this earlier, that doesn't just like plus a bunch, but the more cards they have, weirdly, the more access to their entire deck they'll have. So you still don't want to give them too many cards.
The more you use, the more you can do, absolutely.
But like when the big guys on the field, like essentially like take.
If you control it, it's a take on a quick effect.
Yeah, quick
Yes.
In the main phase.
Yes, just clarifying that Mace will only work if you control combined creation.
Only one monster you control.
So jumping back in, apparently during the last duel around the 35-minute mark, if you're checking out the VOD, unfortunately Kai did use Welcome Labyrinth's effect to summon Lady Labyrinth during the draw phase of Pascal, but later in the turn, Kai also used Big Welcome Labyrinth during main phase 1. On a new chain, he went to Ariana for chain link 1, Shattrack Veer for chain link 2, Welcome Labyrinth for chain link 3 to set itself again, and you cannot use Welcome Labyrinth to reset itself as it was sent to the graveyard the same turn. So great catch to be able to go back in time there and for the judges to be able to catch that to make sure that this is a full and fair, honest YCS top cut.
Back over here to Game 3, we do see the resolution of Sleepy fusing Mace, Tatsuno Toshigo, and Sleepy to summon Creation King.
It finally is here. We got a fusion summon off.
This is the first time this card's been able to resolve for Pascal. Now we're going to see just how strong it is. We're going to be able to send another Creation King from the extra deck to the graveyard as well as 2 other cards. We're going to send Aki Hiran.
What's going on?
This is sending 3.
Yeah, so we're just clarifying what effect is happening right now. We're saying we have Creation King sending the Creation King from the extra deck, the Aki Hiran from the main deck, and then 1 more card.
I get it in Kai's position. If I had never seen Memento before, I'd be like, what do you mean you're sending 3 cards, 1 from the extra deck and 2 from the deck? What?
Yeah, there's a reason why you turned off my fusion monsters in Game 1 and 2. Because I could do this.
He just heard the word fusion and said no, but little did he know how powerful these fusion monsters truly are.
Yep, and now we have Creation King's effect to banish itself and then set Memento Mictlon from the deck to the field. And then here we have the graveyard effect of fusion to search for another Memento card. We're going to be destroying the Creation King that we just summoned.
Memento fusion.
Yep,
So again,
yeah, I was going to say we're searching for Memento Fusion. We're going to be grabbing another Memento Fusion.
so crazy that card can search any card, including itself.
I'm reading this right now.
Yeah, this isn't bad.
And it just is summon something with a lower level or something?
Yeah, low level and the 1 short. I destroyed the fusion.
Okay, so Kai definitely familiar with this deck, able to quote the text of the cards without picking them up.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
procedural
Okay.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
affect target, and then you're gonna use the
Target
effect to
freezing.
summon,
Yeah.
or this effect to summon. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
Yes.
That's good.
So we went ahead and targeted that destroyed Mementotlin monster. Now we're going to special summon one with a lower level, and it is Mementotlin Sleepy.
Because that Sleepy did come from the graveyard.
Effect.
Yes.
Okay.
Red one.
Yeah.
And now we're going to go ahead and XZ summon here into that Goblin Biker Big Gabanka and start unlocking the Goblin side of Pascal's deck here. Going to probably search for that Doug Charger that we saw. Boom, beautiful. That'll be able to summon itself as well by getting rid of one of the materials on Big Gabanka. And now we're going to use Doug Charger's effect.
You gotta when you say effect, can
The
you
charge
tell me
effect
what
is
it does?
search the spell, Goblin spell trap.
Goblin spell effect. Okay.
Yep, and this will get the grand breakout.
I'll say every
Just like
second.
this.
So-
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna-
Pascal getting a little ahead of himself, kind of like Kai did in Game 1. You know, these duelists feel an open game state. They just start playing and they forget. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I'm speaking to you as well.
Yeah. I mean, the best way to do it is just say it like the anime, right? I activate my monsters effect, which allows me to do this. And as silly as that is, it is in compliance with tournament policy guidelines. You do have to, like, talk to that person across the table. This is not solitaire.
Ooh, and there we see XZ's Armor Torpedo coming out. That's another just interesting rank 3 that we haven't gotten to see Pascal play yet. This might access the Armored XZ side of his deck if he has any fun ways to keep climbing up, but it does give him an extra draw as well. Oh, actually, no, we're going to overlay 2 monsters with the same rank to go into F-Zero, Utopic Future, and then into Draco Future. Whoa!
Speechless. I thought we were fusing.
I'm not going to lie, I didn't see that coming today.
No, my bingo card, I might as well just throw it out. This is the craziest YCS top 8 I think I have seen in quite some time. But really good standardized plays here that make perfect sense, right? You've got plenty of level 3s. You want to be able to have that synergy to connect to the Goblin, but rather than just using that, combining all of these great cards into making Utopic support, that's insane.
Now, I will say Kai does have a response to Utopic Future being summoned, so Pascal will not get a pop-off potentially here. You got, again, a little excited, but I'd love that he showed off the Draco Future, though. That was pretty awesome.
This is very tough for me.
This is a tough call here.
You have to decide whether to stop it right here with the Arias the Labyrinth Butler.
But even then, like, what trap card does he have in his hand that could even interact with it?
Looks like the cannon.
That's the set.
Set a okay, my turn. Arias effect to set a spell or trap or a trap card, normal trap card that can be activated this turn, or special summon a labyrinth monster.
Yep, so we're either going to set or special from hand now.
Yeah, this is always starts it.
We're going to reveal the Daruma Karma Cannon as a trap card that we are setting. It can be activated this turn.
I'm gonna go.
And then we're also going to activate Chandraglier's effect to discard a card and set.
That's tough. I mean, with only Pot of Extravagance,
And
Labyrinth, and then another trap card there, it's really, really difficult. But he's going to get rid of the field spell, not trying to be too greedy.
Yeah, it doesn't really give him that much value until he gets his Welcome Labyrinth established anyway. So now we're going to set here to a different card, just making sure no imperms have been activated or anything else. Where should we set things? You probably get Welcome here. It won't be able to be activated this turn, I don't believe, because Arias only lets you activate the one that you set this turn, I believe. Yep, so there's the Welcome Labyrinth.
Good call.
But the cannon can be activated, and that will stop the Utopic Draco Future from coming out.
The Pot of Extravagance is going to be huge if we get to it, but right now we're going to go ahead and banish the Goblin Breaker Grand Breakout.
Oh, that's actually Grand Entrance, by the way. I misspoke earlier.
Oh, it is entrance. It is entrance.
That's what let him get the other Doug Charger specifically back out from the deck and then go into this line here.
Wait, that means he's running both Grand Entrance and Grand Breakout.
Yeah, because he
This
has the
is
Doug Chargers.
very Goblin-centric. This is so cool.
Yep, and then he's going to go ahead and detach the material like we saw there. Then he's going to go into Draco Future. And then we're going to summon the combined creation from the graveyard by shuffling back 5 different Memento names from the graveyard. This will give him another Meowl's draw. Hopefully Kai recognizes that. Once he decides the 5, of course. It's a summoning condition, so we got to do that first. Yep, there it is. There's the 5. Then we shuffle back, and Kai drew another card, and it was lovely. Unfortunately.
Ooh, that's a little painful right now because he had added the Welcome Labyrinth probably to get lovely.
Yeah.
And now, well, that does not help nearly as much as it would have.
And there we see a potential set 3 from Pascal, ending on Utopic Draco Future and Combined Creation. That is a very scary board.
And could use the Memento Mictlan field spell during the end phase of doing exactly that. Probably to set the Memento and Bone Party. Yep.
And I'm trying to read Bone Party one last time. Sorry.
So you go
It destroys, then summons or searches?
summons or searches.
Or searches.
Yeah, either or.
And it destroys on resolution, not for cost.
From hand as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh,
hand?
from dead.
Am I allowed to ask what I know in hand or no? No.
You know the goblin.
You shouldn't say that.
Oh, Kai trying to save Pascal from revealing public information there. Just trying to keep it fair again. If you haven't been to enough YCSs, I really recommend reading those tournament policy guidelines. Can't say that enough.
So you said with that.
Yes, I said this. Yeah.
I'm thinking in your face.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're thinking in Pascal's end phase, seeing if Kai wants to respond here with any of the cards he has access to.
I'll attempt to draw from turn.
All right, so we're going to go to draw phase here
Okay.
for Kai. Drawing a rollback, it looks like.
I think it's time for that pot of extravagance. We're going to have to spin the wheel here and find out what happens.
That Utopia Draco Future represents pretty much a change of heart on any of the most powerful monsters in Kai's
Oh,
deck.
that's crazy. All right, let's see what these two Destiny draws are. Kai's fate depends on it.
Big welcome, it looks like. And a Dominus Impulse.
Ooh,
That's
even
not-
pointing to the Dominus Impulse like, yeah, that's not too bad.
This one's not too shabby. That's one of them good ones.
To summon from grave or hand, non-target.
Yep, effect of content of combined creation to summon.
Taking a sec there. That's pretty rough. Great cards in the hand.
We do have that impulse, right? But no, we're not going to do that. We're going to just let him summon the Anguish here. And Anguish will be able to search here. I believe we returned Mace, so this could be us searching it back again, so we can get potentially 2 change of hearts. Oh, we're going to get the Sleepy instead here.
That is the one.
I was getting ahead of myself.
Oh, I know. But how could you not in this deck that could basically do anything?
My monster is destroyed. By card effect, I can special
Yeah, you have
summon.
bone party. Yeah.
Kai's like, oh, I know why you searched this. Uh-huh, you're going to summon Guardian Chimera on my turn. I know you. Actually, no, that wouldn't work with Sleepy because you wouldn't be able to use the effect. But you can summon, like, Creation King and get the pop that way.
Pascal likely not to make that misstep. Kai's got to decide what to do. We're still in draw phase, technically.
I suppose you're right, yeah.
Going to
Oh, no, we're in main phase because of Extravagance.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
We did draw during the main phase. but-
It's been a very long main phase. But all we've done is draw cards then.
We're going to activate the Dreamer Karma Cannon we set using Arius last turn. That'll set all the monsters, turning off most of the interactions that Pascal had access to there. This does also turn off a potential Mace that he might be able to kind of sneakily get in there with any of these awesome Memento cards. We're going to welcome Labyrinth for Ariana. Aria effect on summon. He's going to be met by an Imperm.
Ooh.
chain. Arias and Labyrinth Mother, that's named from grave.
Yes, because we're responding to a Labyrinth effect, we'll be able to chain Arias to add it back to the hand.
Oh, it's stuck here.
So, chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the second time Arias has stomped onto the field. Maybe the third.
Yeah. There's gonna, oh, not. I'm sorry. Chendraglier adds. This summons itself to the field.
That's right. In attack mode, no less.
Gonna be able to punch. I believe he has 2,600 attack points.
More importantly, there are 10 stars worth of monsters on the field, including only Dark, so we may be seeing a Chaos Angel in just a moment.
The honorary Labyrinth monster, being able to banish the combined creation would be pretty huge.
I mean, the powers of light and darkness intertwine in quite a few decks this format, right? We've seen Chaos Angel in Ryzel Fiendsmith, and now we're seeing it in Labyrinth.
Chaos Angel.
It was not banished off Extrav. We do get the Chaos Angel out on summon, being able to banish something.
Banish.
We are going to attempt to banish the combined creation. That Bone Party will not save it because it is not face up. It will get banished. How much defense does Draco Future have? It has 2,500, right?
Believe so.
Yeah.
Very, very utopic, to say the least.
Yes. For all the Utopia evolutions. Ooh, I think Kai's thinking the same thing I am. How much defense does this have? But I don't believe he's able to ask that now that it's set face down.
Sorry about that earlier, right?
Yes, because it's only
Yes.
dark.
Yes, because it was made with only dark monsters, Chaos Angel cannot be destroyed by battle. Worth noting for sure. Because Pascal might have limited ways to out it at this point. We're going to go straight to battle phase here.
Compare and attack.
Chaos Angel's going to attack the Anguish.
Interesting. Perhaps not as worried about the Xyz monster because of access to things like Dimensional Barrier, negating the effects of that card.
I mean, he could also just, try to big welcome bounce it as well if he
That's
can
true.
establish another lady.
This is sorry.
So yeah, when a Memento is destroyed, it summons itself back. And then on summon, it doesn't matter because you can let things attack directly. And then when it's sent back to the graveyard, you can add something from your graveyard to your hand. And here's the beautiful set one. making sure trying to play around potentially any more imperm columns that could be there. We do currently have one in the second to the right, or I believe that's known as column 4, is the way it's numbered, left to right, right?
Correct. But it's really difficult when you have 5 cards to set. You have to choose, okay, which one of these would I not mind being in the imperm column, as it's called? Infinite Impermanence, very powerful effect, and no bubbles to be seen here from Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel's animations, but the feel of that card, you can definitely just grab it out of the air there.
Yep, so here we have Bone Party destroying the Akihiron, and now we're going to chain link one Memento Mictlan, chain link 2 Akihiron, add, and summon. We're going to add from the banish because Akihiron can do that.
Sleepy is such a great card, but Akihiron pushes the deck even further there. So again, being able to add from the banishment, confirming it's...
Yes.
Yep, there we go, Akihiron.
It is graveyard and banishment. That's why Akihiron is such a really nice engine requirement for this deck. It just makes sure that all of your plays are super resilient and you can keep going. And then we're going to go ahead and get Anguish back using Memento Mictlan, and then you use Anguish's on summon effect to search for a Gaddock. And then we're going to Sleepy because the card was destroyed, summon itself from the hand.
So Kai just confirming some card effects here, and we're going to Dominus Impulse.
We're going to change the Sleepy's effect to summon Dominus Impulse, destroying it because we do indeed have a trap card. That's activating from the hand, just worth noting.
Or like
Trigger Sleepy.
so turn player chain link 1 to add back to hand.
Okay.
Yeah, so turn player priority, Kai is declaring for Chandelier to add to hand, and then we're going to change Sleepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was destroyed. Even though it wasn't summoned, it doesn't matter. It was destroyed by the effect of Dominus Impulse.
Good looking out for our mandatory chain links there. Going to go ahead and get rid of the Mementot Darkblade to the graveyard.
Okay. Then resolution. Do you have anything? Does this activate on my end phase too or no?
No. So
Clarifying that
it's
Memento
going
Mictlan is
to-
only during your end phase, not during your opponent's.
You just set those 3.
These are unactivatable. Yeah.
You all set all.
During Kai's end phase, he's going to discard the lovely Labyrinth to his hand and set using Chandraglier. That could probably save the fact that he unfortunately drew the card he's not used to drawing or happy to draw. And then we get the big welcome, which can summon it back during Pascal's turn.
Yep.
Was it the fusion that you use? The fusion spell, is it main phase only?
Yeah, main phase
Is it like
only.
Chimera fusion? Yeah.
Yeah, it's only main phase. That's why I couldn't. I would have used it now, but yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Like, why did you Chimera fusion?
Kai's like, why didn't you use the fusion spell? Pascal's like, I can't use the fusion
I can't
spell right
use
now.
it.
Trust me,
That
I
would
wish
be
I could.
good.
That'd be
Mhm.
crazy. Kai's doing a really good job picking apart Pascal's board. This is definitely going to be a grind from here, but Pascal has a whole yard full of mementos and a ready combined creation.
It's an interesting matchup like we were expecting, but again, the deck that doesn't stop stopping against the deck that never starts starting. It just keeps going.
So there we have the big welcome. We're actually going to be bouncing our own Chaos Angel and triggering Lovely Labyrinth to destroy a card either on the field or in the hand.
I think it's very heads up for recycling a Chaos Angel because then you can go ahead and banish additional cards later when you make it with those coveted 10 stars worth of Dark Monsters.
Adds the hand.
Yep, so Chandelier will add to hand, and Welcome Labyrinth will set itself back to the board, and then Lovely will destroy a card non-targeting in the hand or on the board. This is all happening during Pascal's draw phase, I believe. We're going to chain Forbidden Droplet, getting rid of Anguish for cost to target the Lovely. That's pretty huge. It is worth noting that Kai did not activate a trap card during any of this time, so Pascal's free to respond. We're going to chain Transaction Rollback from the field.
Targeting this.
So you pay half of that?
Yeah, or sorry, this targets Imperm, Imperm negates this.
Okay, so I'm 8,000, you have 4,000.
Yep, Transaction Rollback, what's on your field can actually top a trap your opponent has in their graveyard. Kai's going to pay 4,000 life points for that, though.
But he might have signed his own note because, again, 6 minutes, 45 seconds left on the clock, 4,000 life points. We know these decks can literally play forever. That could come up later.
Yep, the droplet will still resolve, so now Lovely has... Oh no, I guess it's not being resolved now because of the trap being activated, right?
Copying that infinite impermanence. Thanks for bringing one to the duel. But jokes aside here, Transaction Rollback, a very powerful card for that reason, especially when traps are in the format. Not as useful when it's more spell-centric, but infinite impermanence is always around, so usually you'll at least get one type of trap use.
We thought Kai was setting cards in the zones purposely to dodge Imperm. No, I want to activate Imperm during my opponent's turn. Hopefully he doesn't make the unfortunate mistake of setting a card there himself this turn. He sets to the farthest right column, or number 5. It looks like.
Definitely, definitely, and I'm so glad that we've got it. Now we're going right back in.
So we're in draw phase right now.
Yes, and we're going right back to Pascal's turn. We are still in his draw phase. The Lovely has resolved its effect to destroy the Draco Future, and we're just moving forward from there. It looks like on an open game state, Kai is going to be activating Dimensional Barrier and calling... Was that Fusion that he said?
Oh, sorry, this is draw phase.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yes, specifically this is draw phase as Pascal clarified. Therefore, Fusion is not able to be activated. And that
Earlier,
means-
Kai did ask, can you activate that only in the main phase? The answer is yes, so great time for Dimensional Barrier.
All right, so they won't be able to go into Creation Kings anymore, but Combined Creation is on the table, I think, and that is more than enough to maybe destroy Kai's board, because remember, he's only at 4,000 life points.
Oh, you're right, from the earlier transaction rollback. Now, he does have transaction rollback in the graveyard, but with limited options of traps in the graveyard. I think I only see 2 cards there for now.
Ooh, and there we see the Tatsuno Toshigo being summoned from Pascal's hand. That'll be more than enough names being sent to the graveyard that he needs to start comboing off, I think.
And let's see...
I think he...
Yep, so we got Mace being sent there. That's 1 star. We need 4 more stars worth of Memento monsters. We've got Darkblade, so that's 5 total. I think Gaddock was already in the graveyard, so we couldn't get any more value out of that.
Yeah.
Yep, because the Tatsuno Toshigo was destroyed, we're going to be able to summon a monster that's weaker. We're going to chain the Aki Huron's effect to summon itself because something was destroyed. And this makes all of our big Memento monsters be able to attack directly. So now if we just summon the Combined Creation, it can attack directly for game.
Good stuff.
What effect?
It's to discard to destroy a fellow trap.
Yes, so this is the effect of Darkblade to discard and destroy a spell or trap, and he's chaining to that the Aki Huron's effect to make sure that everything can attack directly if it's level 9 or higher.
Feel like this is the first time we've seen, or at least the first time we've seen in a while, so discarding to get rid of that face down card.
I mean, what a matchup to use it against Labyrinth, right?
Yeah, plenty of traps.
Yes.
Yep, we have used the Big Welcome already, if you guys remember back, because it was used during the draw phase of Pascal's turn.
This is the special summon itself. Then they add that game.
Oh, it's a different effect?
It's a different effect. It has like 3 different effects.
Yes, Aki Huron has 3 separate effects that'll have different triggers.
Welcome to Memento, friends.
Yeah, level 9 or higher. Memento.
Yeah, only level 9 or higher Memento monsters can attack directly. Oh, and there we go.
Oh,
Kai's
Kai.
instantly scooping because all he has to do is summon Combined Creation and attack directly, and Kai only has Welcome Labyrinth and can only summon monsters. Pascal is moving on to